Hi guys, and welcome to episode 38 of my making podcast. My name is Marlene, and this is originally a knitting podcast that I have kind of expanded to also talk about any of my other crafts that I like to do. So any sewing or spinning that I do, I will mention on here and talk about my experiences of learning new things in the fiber community. So this is a regular podcast episode with an additional kind of part to the video. I have two finished objects in knitting and two finished objects in sewing. One work in progress at this point in time. I'm not counting my scrappy blankets, though I've been working on them a bit. But I will just show them to you whenever I've made a bit more substantial progress. So it's actually it actually makes sense to show you. Otherwise, it is boiling today here in Germany. It's like 35 degrees Celsius, and yeah, I'm hot even wearing linen and doing nothing. I thought I'd record a podcast today and include my autumn knitting plans because I have just finished all of my leftover summer projects that I really wanted to do, and now I'm at the point where I can get on with my autumn knitting. I know it's only mid-August, but since I have a very special project I want to get done till October, for some very particular reason I will be talking about. So please excuse me while I am melting today, but I really still wanted to film an episode, and let's get into it. I will start with what I'm wearing today, which is also my first finished object of the week. This is the plain yoke tee by Lene Home Samso, who's also known as Linit on Instagram, and as her designer name, I guess. This is in a pure linen fiber, which is the Alfama by Husarios Quattro. We do carry this brand at our shop. They're a yarn brand from Portugal that I did not know of before I started working at Strick Verliebt, but they have some really great, affordable and sustainable yarns in their range, and I really liked knitting with this. It is 100% cotton. No, it's 100% linen, like I said, and this is in the olive green color. I'll link the color number. I think it's 07 or 05. I'll link it down below in the description box, and it's always also linked in my Ravelry project. I knit this in size large, and it fits really nicely. I actually bought 7 hangs, 50-gram hangs of the Alfama, and I just returned the last skein that I did not touch, I think yesterday. And so yeah, I used 300 grams of the linen yarn because I did shorten the t-shirt. So I didn't do the lifted increases that the pattern calls for, but rather some make one lefts. This was a modification that the pattern also suggested if you didn't know how to do the lifted increases. I said in the last episode that at the point in time where I started this project, I wanted a really mindless knit, so I didn't care to try a new increase method, though I always like to learn new things. With this one, I don't think you can tell too badly, and I've only steam blocked this. I'm not sure if this helped. I wanted to wear it for this episode, and so I haven't put it in the wash. I will not block this like I would a woolly item. I'm just going to put it in the wash on like 30 degrees with my usual like colorful t-shirts and items really, and then I will lay it out to dry like flat. But yeah, so this hasn't been washed, but I really wanted to wear it today. I really like these effects of the rolled edges. That is really easy and something different from 1x1 or 2x2 ribbing that we see in a lot of other knitwear. So I really like that look. it just feels like a plain yoke tee. So the name really is fitting for this one. And I'm just wearing it with some linen like ecru or beige shorts, and so that I think works quite well together. And yeah, I'm still pretty warm, but that's not because of what I'm wearing, it's just because it's tropical outside. But yeah, this is the only thing I want to wear today in this heat. So yeah, I hope I said everything I wanted to for this project. And moving on to my second last summer knit of this season, which is my mini mock neck tank. I've been wearing it a couple of times already, which is why it's a bit how do you say that, it's a bit worn. Yeah, and a bit creased, and I would say there's a good potential that it might have felt a tiny bit under the armpits, especially because there might be some moisture in that area. It also has some pilling already, which I knew would happen because the yarn is so incredibly soft. This is a Shanico and cashmere mix. It's by Sea Change Fiber by the Dye Project in the whale fingering base in Steely Gaze. I got this last year at the Flock Fiber Festival, at the inaugural Flock, if you might want to call it that. And it fits really well. I've just tried to use all of the yarn. I am not really sure if I'm going to be wearing this a ton more in this really warm weather, or if it's more so going to be a maybe undershirt for very cold days. I think that actually that might be a more functional scenario for me to use this. Nevertheless, I also have been wearing it in really warm weather, just because, you know, the feeling of having finished something and then really desperately wanting to wear it. So yeah, as far as I can remember, I made size 3, which to some extent was that I wanted some negative ease that the pattern also called for, and then I had limited yarn. So I had 490 meters, which meant that this is quite cropped, not as cropped as other people's versions. So if I'm wearing something really high-waisted, you can't see anything, my skin or my tummy or anything. But yeah, it is not a full-sized garment for sure. I was struggling a bit with the row gauge. I can't really have it close to my body. I'm so hot right now, so I'm going to put it away. I'm going to show you the yarn up close so you can see the colorway a bit better. But yeah, I had lots more rows than the pattern called for, so I did a kind of mid-project steam because I didn't gauge swatch beforehand, and now it is a bit better. But yeah, I was not really close to what she called for pre-blocking. So I've not checked my gauge after blocking again, since it didn't really matter to me as long as it fitted great, and it does. But yeah, I think I had more like 40 rows like gauge wise, whenever she was calling for, I think 28 or something. So I had like 12 rows too many. But yeah, with blocking that helped a bit. I just didn't want it to sit too like close up tight in my armpit. It's still a bit higher than I have seen in other people's project pages, but because my row, like my stitch gauge was fine, I didn't really know how to combat that, and I should have probably changed the increase rates, so kind of drawn them out a bit more. But yeah, so I had to take a quick break because I was getting so hot that I was fanning myself with my with my hair dryer on cold because I was just overheating. I will have to get through this quickly. It is, as I can see, not the perfect day to speak about my autumn knitting plans because I am literally melting, but here we are. In my mind, I'm in autumn mode already. So that was mostly everything about my knitting. I'm sorry I wasn't speaking very eloquently about all these things. My mind's just not at that point in time. If you've got any questions about these very simple last minute summer knitting projects, please feel free to share them and I will make sure to answer them. But yeah, other than that, I just wanted to get the yarn with the project that I'd intended for it out of my stash. The mini mock neck was part of my Make 9. So the next two projects are sewing projects. I'll just very quickly show you them and then move on to my autumn knitting plans. This first one is the Meta top by Me and Kiddo Designs. I am actually super chuffed with this project. It turned out technically very well made, which, I mean, yeah, I'm very happy with. I managed to have everything in the right direction, which when I was first cutting out the fabric, I managed to cut out one of the sleeves. So the pattern was like wrong side round, but I kind of combated that in the process of sewing it. I put in one of my labels that I got off Etsy, and yeah, everything worked out really nicely with this project. So I'm really happy with it. I also mentioned it in my latest video and have been wearing it there. So if you want to see how this fits on my body, you could watch my second Spin With Me episode. And yeah, the block printed bloom marigold and white fabric was from the Blackbird fabric shop where I bought some fabric in their BFF sale recently. So this is my first finished object from that order, and I'm currently cutting out, or I've been meaning to cut out for like 2 weeks, a kind of very beautifully cinnamony linen color, just plain linen, to use and make it's a matchy sewing club dress. I've forgotten what it's called, but yeah, that is my next upcoming sewing project. I really love this one. It's very airy and loose. And then I've also finished some Hilda pants, actually the shorts I've made in a espresso brown linen color that I got from a Berlin fabric market. The design is by Slow Morning Studios, and I have not got it with me right now because it's in the wash. But yeah, I can put in some video footage of me wearing it with my newly finished mini mock neck is how I try to style it. I'm not yet sure about this outfit, so I mean, if you want to, you can let me know if you like it, but I thought that the trousers, or the pants rather, the shorts, gosh, my ability to talk today is lacking quite a bit. Because I thought the pants weren't as high as I would usually wear them, which I'm not sure if that's a pattern. I used a 4mm elastic, and the pattern called for a 3.5mm elastic. I just didn't have one around, so I used the other one instead. So that might be part of the reason why it's a bit more mid-rise than high-rise. And I also attempted to make them quite long for a shorts, to have them be really appropriate for work and such things, because like I'm not 20 anymore. So I mean, you can wear whatever you want at whatever age you want, but for me it's like not wanting to wear super short pants at work and just not feeling super comfortable with it, with all of my leg showing while I'm just out and about. I just wanted something that is easy breezy, relatively big on me, like they're really oversized, quite a lot of fabric around my actual leg, and quite a lot of air, which I thought was nice because then it might not get too warm. But yeah, they turned out okay. I would say they're growing on me. I just need to maybe wear them with different tops and see how I like them. But yeah, currently they're in the wash, and that is all about my sewing at this point in time. Next up, my autumn knitting plans. I hope you're still with me. I know this first part of the video was a bit of a chaotic mess. But yeah, this was the actual part I was super excited to film, and I will go through all of my autumn knitting plans with you now. I have a Ravelry queue that I will also put up here so you can have a look at it, and I will talk through it. And yeah, if you ever want to reference any of these things or want to knit any of them yourself, you can, and if you didn't know about them yet, you can always go check out my Ravelry account. Let's be friends on Ravelry too. And then yeah, you'll see what kind of yarns I am planning on using too. So let's start first with the most obvious thing, and the thing that I was hinting at the beginning of the video is my framed sweater by Andrea Mari. I have started the color work section. The first, I'm like halfway through, a bit more than halfway. I will try and finish this first motif today, right after filming. Yeah, this is the framed, and it's the official Rhinebeck sweater. And that is very fitting because I'm going to Rhinebeck. And yeah, this is the one thing I had talked about in my latest video already, but as I know not everyone watches the spinning episodes, I wanted to share here as well. My lovely friend Mia from Knitting Grace has kindly invited me to come and stay with her for the Rhinebeck weekend mid-October. And yeah, as we were chatting about it, it has been one of my life goals or dreams to one day go to Rhinebeck. I just wasn't expecting it to happen so soon. So this is so fitting because I'm actually knitting my first Rhinebeck sweater too. I've never made any of the Andrea Mari Rhinebeck sweaters before. And this is also my first hand spun sweater too. Like I said, I talk about this extensively in my Spin With Me episode. So if you want to know anything other than I'm knitting this is my only whip right now. And it's my first autumn plan that I want to achieve and finish. You can watch the video. I will link it. And yeah, it's going to be the last one I posted before this one. So very, very excited for this one. I've also wanted to recast on kind of and knit the small fry scarf. I had done so, which explains this mess. I had to try to knit it from just one fingering weight. I'm not sure what the base is called anymore. This is a yarn that I got in a yarn shop in Mainz when I was visiting a friend. Let me actually check out what the yarn is again. So this is the whole scarn Haya, and this is in the color caramel. And I have frogged it because I had messed up the beginning of this project and I had decided to hold it double. So I will probably shorten the project a tiny bit just because I don't have enough to make it the full size with holding these two yarns double. The Ravelry page tells me this is a fingering, but yeah, I think it might be quite nice. As far as I know, the pattern was written to be used with a sport weight yarn, so using a DK should work out fine. I'm going to go up a needle size so it'll also get a bit bigger even if I'm shortening the repeat a tiny bit. This is going to be another soon to be cast on project, and I would also like this to be finished for Rhinebeck. The small fry scarf is by Samantha Guerin, and yeah, I think it would be so nice to have a very cozy and warm small kind of shawl scarf thing. And yeah, another project that is in my queue, and that is another project plan for this autumn, is the Maxine hot water bottle cover by Laura Penrose. I don't have the yarn with me yet because I will be knitting it up in the patchwork collection by Coast to Coast Yarn Co. That is currently on its way. I think it should arrive maybe tomorrow or the day after. And whenever you're watching this, I think the pre-order is about a week or just a few days until it's here. I might be able to put in some footage of the colorways that she has already kind of publicly announced on her Instagram, though if you just want to see them, maybe just go follow her on Instagram if you haven't already. most of you probably follow her already. But yeah, I have come up with a little drawing. I used the pattern that has kind of a draw your own version kind of thing, which I think is super cool. So yeah, I will be knitting that as kind of a sample to also preview and advertise the collection. I'm super happy to be an affiliate of Coast to Coast Yarn Co. and to show you the hot water bottle whenever I've got it finished. I thought that I really wanted to knit that, and since the patchwork collection is quilt or heirloom quilt inspired, I thought that it would be the perfect project to actually show off a lot of the colors in the collection. I won't be able to share it like even half of them, but at least some of them. And then yeah, it would just be very fitting. And if I really like the process, I might make some more maybe for Christmas later on in the year. My third plan for this autumn is actually going to be part of the Mosaic Mayhem Cal that my friend Casey from Young Folk Knits is planning. I already have my yarn in its designated bag to really get it started. I wanted to start this project for a long time, and I might just do it hopefully this September. So I have swatched for this, I think in May. So I've really been looking forward to making this. So this is the tessellated cardigan, or a swatch for the tessellated cardigan by Andrea Mari. I'm really getting into her designs. I also shopped her latest like birthday sale through her newsletter, which was really nice, and I got a few more patterns. So yeah, I hope to make more of her patterns in the future. I'll show you the yarn that I'm intending on using for this cardigan. This is the Odang Surrey in Matt Martin, I think it's called, and the Earth Yarns Sparrow Grain light worsted in, I'm not remembering the name of this one. It's Rainbow Eucalyptus. And then the kind of main color is this beautiful like aqua teal, maybe petrol-y looking light teal, I would say maybe. This is the Vertex Old by Camarose. So yeah, this is going to be my tessellated cardigan. And I hope to be knitting it alongside with my friend Anna, who's also planning on doing this for the knit along. So that might be really nice to finally cast it on. Another thing that I had on my list for quite some time is the Party Line Scarf by Casey Apple. Again, Young Folk Knits. I've had this alpaca DK in stash for a while. The color name is my favorite. I got it in a sale that Craft Me Not Yarn Co. had a while ago, and since this is the yarn that the pattern actually calls for, and it calls for one skein, I thought that might be really nice to use it for this exact pattern by my friend Casey. So yeah, I think this might be a great project to also bring with me on the flight to Rhinebeck. Just as I thought it would be nice to bring some socks. I don't think I'm going to bring any bigger projects, as I don't think I'll have space for them. I'm just traveling with a carry-on, and I know how crammed space can be. I am open to either bringing like a tote bag and then either checking one of my luggages kind of, or sending back a parcel with my products that I might be shopping. Just because Mia has already brought a few things from Flock with her for me. She is my designated fiber smuggler this season. So yeah, I think I might have to send out like a package to myself or check another luggage on the way back home. But yeah, still I want to keep it relatively light. And I think my second project, so this will be my Party Line Scarf, which is on kind of place 4 of my queue. This is just a kind of a way in which I think I'll cast them on. Things are definitely subject to change though. But the second thing I would really like to cast on are these Lone Wolf socks. Lone Wolf is one of the more newer, I guess, colorways, and since we carry hedgehog fiber sock yarn and alpaca, boucle, and some bases of theirs at the shop, I was able to buy this. Beautiful, beautiful skein. Like, it is everything that I love at this point in time, color-wise. And I'm probably just gonna make some vanilla socks, which are great to travel with, I thought. And yeah, let's just hope my needles won't get confiscated. I'll try and have maybe like bamboo needles on this one, and I usually knit with metal needles on socks, like an 80 centimeter 2.5 needles on socks, but we all know the trick of like screwing them off and putting them with some pencils and pens in our handbags, so I might try that. I think that was originally a tip I got from Knitting Traditions. Inga from Knitting Traditions had mentioned that, and I've done it ever since, and I have recommended it to people that came to our yarn shop. And yeah, I think that's a good idea, because I really don't want to be without knitting on like a 10-hour flight. So yeah, I think these might be my little Rhinebeck projects, and I think it will be enough knitting for like 5 days, and it will be a bit less of carrying stuff around while traveling. But yeah, that was the socks. I don't have in my queue because I am not intending on using a super special pattern, probably either doing, I mean, I love the Hermione's everyday socks, or I've seen, I think Amy Sher showed like a maybe 3x1 or 4x1 like rib sock pattern in their latest episode that I watched. So I might base like a vanilla sock with some sort of rib on those things that I've got floating around in my head. But yeah, most likely I'll just do vanilla socks, and then I really don't have to look at a lot of like charts or patterns. If I've got that party line scarf like cast on, done and memorized, it shouldn't be too difficult, and then that should be great travel knitting. Another thing that I was really just excited to cast on for some time now is the Book Club Cardigan by Sarah Notlund, and I have also swatched for this quite some time ago. This is with the Explore Knits and Fibers Surrey that I got in a Leave No Trace drop some time ago, where I ordered with a knitting friend of mine here from Germany. We ordered and from Explore Knits and Fibers and shared the shipping and customs. We've done that a few times to make it a bit more affordable to order from them. And then I'm also holding it with the Hillesvåg Solje from Hillesvåg Ulfabrik. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but this is cognac. And yeah, the Leave No Trace colorway doesn't have a name. And this is my swatch. And I've also actually got my buttons. I might be able to put in a video because they're in like my button box over there, but they're from Nala Knit, who I'm also an affiliate with, and I guess PR gifted. But I think they suit this pattern real nicely. I actually plan on using her buttons for both of these project. I can insert like a picture actually of putting them side by side, and then you can tell me which buttons you would like choose to go with what pattern. I think that might be nice to hear what you're thinking. So yeah, I'll insert a picture and you can let me know in the comment section down below. Let's do that. I've also put my Book Club cardigan in a project bag already, so they're both ready to go. I'm actually super looking forward to having some more kind of involved and interesting projects on the go after doing a lot of stockinette. I think whenever I feel a bit overwhelmed with these projects, I'll just go back to knitting maybe a sock or on my Cozy Comfort blanket that is just stockinette in the row. So that should be fine. Or it's garter. Yeah. So my next project I've also swatched for already, and it's the Doppio sweater by Songhee Hong. And this is a combination of knitting for all of merino and soft silk mohair. The merino is in marzipan and the soft silk mohair is in oat. And then it's held with the Explore Knits and Fibers Cavern socks, our Cashmere Caverns sock in the colorway Extra Sprinkles. And this is what it looks like. And I'll make this sweater in a little knit along with my friends Emily and Maya and whoever else wants to join. I think whenever we're closer to the date, I think we'll just do a little maybe Instagram chatting group about it. There are so many knit alongs going on right now at the same time, so we'll keep it super casual, like no prizes, just friends knitting the same pattern. And I'm doing the same thing actually right now with a few people for knitting the framed sweater. So that has been super nice, just keeping it really small, which like it's not intended to gatekeep, like have like to gatekeep the group. It's more like it's nice if it's a size where you can actually still chat to one another. So I think having a lot of knit alongs going on at the same time that are really specific, which then means there's not 100 people joining the call, but more so a more manageable group size, means that you can actually chat a bit more, which I quite enjoy. So yeah, we'll have a little Doppio sweater rewatching Gilmore Girls knit along. That's not the official title. We haven't chatted about it, like we haven't finalized anything, but that was the initial thing of Emily and I wanting to knit this sweater together, because we're talking about her colorway that she chose, which is from, I think it's, as far as I remember, it's from Sorella Yarns, and it was Gilmore Girls inspired, and or from their Gilmore Girls collection rather. And yeah, we're talking about how perfectly the Doppio sweater fits the like autumn knitting, the first like super big needle, chunky, woolly, like very squishy sweater, and rewatching Gilmore Girls at the same time. So this is how this all came about. And yeah, this is my plan number 6, not counting the socks, though I'll show you my next sock plan, which is it's all based on this Wilbury Fiber Co. Very Natural sock set, which is a non-superwash merino sock set in the colorway October. So needless to say, I will be knitting this in October. My friend Sophia actually sent this to me. She is the owner of Making Treasures, the company that has also sold this, or is selling, the Maker's Notebook. Sophia gifted this to me at the first Flock Fiber Festival, and then she has sent this to me as well as a gift for last Christmas, with a wooden box that you can keep your socks in if you want to. It's a cedar wood box, which is also supposed to keep like bugs away that we don't want in our wool, and it has my name on it, which is super cute. So I'm not sure if I've ever shown this on the podcast. Yeah, since this was a gift that she gifted me for Christmas, which was so nice of her. But yeah, I guess it's still gifted. So yeah, I was really happy whenever I received this from Sophia, all the way from Seattle. This was so generous of her. I really want to honor that by knitting these socks in October. I think that would be perfect to have a September and an October sock. And then I think I'll just randomly pick the one for November. I don't have a picked one yet, but I'm sure I'll either find something at Rhinebeck or India Untangled, which we're planning on going to. Probably. We haven't made any finalized plans. But yeah, or any of the other single skeins from my stash, which should have me complete my goal of knitting 9 pairs of socks from stash till the end of October actually, because I'm now at 7 pairs and I wanted to make 9. So I might actually be able to finish 12 or 10, at least 10, maybe 11, maybe 12 pairs of socks this year. I haven't given myself too high of a goal, I think, if I'm able to achieve the goal by October. So that's quite nice. My last autumn knitting plan, and I don't know if they'll be realistic. I think 2 cardigans, 2 sweaters, 2 scarves, a hot water bottle, and a cowl that I'm showing you next isn't too ambitious for, let's say, maybe 3 months, though I can start some of them now in August already, and I'm knitting on the framed already. So yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see how much knitting I get done, and I won't hold myself to these things. If they're changing, that's okay. It's just what I think I'll be knitting on the next couple of months at this point in time. And I'm really freaking excited for any of those. So my last and 7th goal, not counting the socks, if I'm counting the socks, this is my 9th goal, is my Burra cowl by Mary Wallen. I actually have all my yarn in this Jameson's bag, Jameson's of Shetland bag. These are the Shetland Spindrift minis, kind of 25-gram minis that I have bought. Some of them I have bought at the Woolliga Gathering. Some are the Jameson and Smith, and I have gotten them from a friend of mine. And then there is one cheeky British Breeds by Mary Wallen in there that I bought from our shop, since we currently have her British Breeds in a little sale, because we're not restocking them because of Brexit at this point in time, as far as I can tell. So these are all my colors. I also have some, I'm not sure the name again, but like a grayish color for the background. But yeah, these should be all my colors. There might be 1 or 2 in there that I still that I have too many, because I got a few more to save on shipping when I ordered some in Germany, which isn't a problem because I am planning on hopefully knitting a Fair Isle cardigan sometime in the future. It might be a project for next fall. It's definitely not one that I am feeling comfortable enough doing yet, so that's why I also thought it might be really nice to do the Burra cowl first. I was also able to try on my friend Venetia's Burra cowl when I visited her in Scotland, so I thought it was really nice to see that I actually like the look of it a ton, and that is really kind of motivating for me to get it done, because I know I'll love it, kind of, if I get it right. But yeah, it'll be a nice project to learn my Fair Isle tension on. It'll be the most colors that I have ever used in a color work project. I have done 2 color work, which isn't a problem, and I know, or as far as I know, you don't have too many colors going on at the same time. I think that's kind of the catch of doing Fair Isle in Mary Wallen's or other similar patterns, is that you're only knitting 2 colors at the same time in a row. But I might just also be talking out of my, right now, and completely lying about this. But as far as I know, that's kind of what makes Fair Isle a standalone color work technique, where there is also for example intarsia or other color work techniques that now I forget some of them that I know. But yeah, mosaic knitting is another one, where you're only ever knitting 1 color in the row and you're slipping the other color stitches. So I hope I'm not talking complete nonsense, but yeah, I think it should be fine. It seems to be a nice pattern. I bought it recently, or a few months back. But yeah, that is my last autumn knitting plan so far. Let me know what you're most excited for knitting this autumn. I'd really love to know. what of like any of if there's any of my project plans that you're particularly loving and would also like to do. And then lastly, I wanted to chat with you about books real quick. I'd say about 2 or 3 months ago, I really thought it'd be time, because there wasn't any Emily Henry books I hadn't read yet, to maybe try out something new in the realm of like cheesy rom-com, maybe a bit smutty literature. And I tried one of Abby Jimenez's books. I did try, I did start with the third one of the, I think it's called the Part of Your World series, and then quickly realized that with Googling it, I was reading the third one, which then made me stop that and read through the first and second one before going on to the third. So I have read, I think it was Part of Your World and then Yours Truly, and now I'm reading through just for the summer. I cannot speak. And I've really been enjoying these books, truly. It's been really entertaining. They're not kind of shallow and just about the dating and getting to know each other part and the, you know, smutty parts. It's also, or mostly, about kind of what people are expecting of their lives, some struggles they might go through, some actually pretty difficult topics she talks about, but I think she does it in quite a nice way. So, I mean, it's not too deep. There are some deep topics in there, but it's, for me, it's kind of an escapism to read books like this. I also enjoy other kinds of literature, and I have been really slowly reading through All About Love by Bell Hooks at the same time. So I do like a bit of a varied literature for me. But it's been really nice listening to these books, like on audiobook, if I'm just spinning or walking to and from work, if I'm driving the car on my own and I need some distraction, even if I'm like, I don't know, cleaning at home. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. So that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you like my autumn knitting plans. So yeah, subscribe to the channel if you like this video, and I hope to see you next time. Possibly with a third Spin With Me update, though that might come a bit later. I think I'm only going to update another third time whenever I've got the garment actually finished, which could take a few weeks. So you might see me before that with another regular episode. So I think it's episode 39, which is mental. We're going towards the 40, like the episode 40. And that doesn't even entail all the vlogs that I've done on like yarny festivals and travels. And also we're going towards, as far as I remember, 12,000 of you guys following this channel, which I'm very thankful for. So thanks to you guys for being here, for kind of making this super enjoyable and always making me kind of go for filming the next episode. So I guess my camera died on me. I think it didn't even overheat, it just, the battery died. So I still wanted to come back after charging it for a couple of minutes to say bye. I was already saying bye to you. I hope that whatever you're making is making you happy, and I hope you're taking care of yourselves and those around you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.